Alright, welcome to KMS 10 at 10, everybody. We got our special guest with us today, one of the original 10 at 10 members, OG Luke, is in the house.
It's good to be back. In case you didn't remember my face and that nice sign Sam made, I'm Luke.
And I'm T. So today I'm going to be talking about some YouTube and how Google is planning on getting into the programmatic TV world. I'm also going to be talking about some new Facebook updates because there's something new every 3 days.
And I'm also going to talk about Google, AdWords, and Facebook. So, what's new?
Hey, the same person. Should have left your jacket on.
Yeah, people wouldn't be able to tell who's who.
Yeah,
definitely.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
You want to kick this off?
Sure. So just was recently, or
Sam's face. He's so disappointed in us.
back to serious topics here.
All right.
It wasn't technically announced, but people have noticed, AdWords users have noticed that there are now responsive search ads, and it's in a beta. What that means is, or at least Google's explanation is, responsive search ads let you create an ad that adapts. There's a very small puppy that just came up with it. Responsive search ads lets you create an ad that adapts to show more text and more relevant messages to your customers. So what you do, or when you originally set up a campaign, a normal search ad, you have 2 headlines, which I think they're 30 characters each, and then you have one description of 80. And then once you make one, that's one, and then you have to go make another one if you want to duplicate and switch up the order. With these new responsive search ads, you just put in, on the screenshot they had, you can put in 5 different headlines, just random headlines, and then you can put in 5 different descriptions. And then Google will then test and see which ones work with each other the best. And then once the testing is done, who knows how long that actually goes for, they'll show the top performing combinations, and then you'll get a report showing, hey, the first and the third headline, and then this 5th description was the one that had the most clicks, most impressions. So that will be easier, at least I see it as, for people that have to come up with writing these text ads to just hammer out ones that don't necessarily have to make sense when they're together, but when Google finds which ones work the best together.
Okay, that was my question. I was going to say, so you have to write all 5 headlines and all 5 descriptions, that if they got any mix and match together, that they all make sense, or is that part of Google's testing?
That's part of Google's testing. So, because I know some of the testing we do, that we'll actually just switch the headlines. Mm-hmm. Like they'll be the same thing,
just flop them.
But flop them. That you won't have to do. You still put in each one, but then Google's going to test to see which one's better, first or second.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, so it's kind of like AdWords has a dynamic search ads function, but that one, dynamic search ads, just pulls copy from your website, makes headlines and text and descriptions in it, and with that, we run the risk of, it's automated learning. Is it really going to make sense? I read some articles about that said that Google's artificial intelligence program isn't quite where they would like it to be yet. So you have to just be careful that even though they said it's running in the server, that it's actually making sense when it serves. And that would be one of my caution points with that.
Yeah, and also what they said too, this is still the beta, they're still testing, so just be careful if you're going to actually
hold your horses.
Yeah. Or it's like, don't get too mad if they do it and it doesn't perform as best as you want to. I think that's what they mostly mean by it.
Wow. Well, we're going to keep going down the YouTube and AdWords road. YouTube has YouTube TV. It's just their online streaming service. I'm not more than 100 markets right now. And now they're trying to say that they're going to open up that inventory, like commercial inventory, up for everybody who's a part of their Google preferred advertising program. And it's their premium video advertising. So they're going to steal ads on content on some U.S. cable networks participating in YouTube TV. Ads will be inserted dynamically, giving advertisers the ability to show relevant ads to the right audiences rather than just showing everyone the same ads they might see on traditional TV. So in AdWords and DoubleClick Bid Manager, advertisers will be able to target their YouTube campaigns specifically to TV screens, in addition to the traditional computers, mobile phones, and tablets. So essentially, I think Google sees that the programmatic TV is going to be the next frontier for 2018. It's here, but it keeps growing, and they're trying to figure out a way to get a piece of that pie, to bring that service to their advertisers and marketers.
Yeah, and with the amount of talk, the amount of how much we're talking about programmatic TV. I feel like this past few months, it's crazy, and I definitely see this. It would be dumb for them to not have to at least try something and see how it works.
Yeah, because essentially a lot of people are moving away from cable. They're called cable cutters for a reason. They're trying to do more Hulu streaming services. I have PlayStation View. I want to try YouTube TV, but it's not necessarily in our market yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any cable cutting service that you want to try, that you would try?
I would be all over to try YouTube TV. Right now, we have cable, and it's one of those that like, it's good. We like it, but we could also move on to do something else. But
Yeah, and I'm just interested to be able to get in there and test out that and see how it compares to other programmatic TV campaigns that we run. So,
all right, that was good. My last topic, talking about Facebook. Facebook pages are getting new video metrics and chart tracking engagement throughout the video. So it's a new, when you own a Facebook page and you post a video organically, or also you can boost it too, but you'll be able to get a follower versus non-follower viewer count. So people that are like your page or don't like your page, you can see that number of people actually that have viewed your video. Demographic breakdown by gender, so you can see if more males or females can view it. And then one thing that was kind of, it's hard to explain, is the zoom chart. It gets kind of like an actual second by second view of viewers, and where the viewership drops off.
Mm-hmm.
You can see where people have liked it, or they commented on it, or shared like at that specific timestamp. So yeah, it's just when someone engages or leaves the video, you can see exactly when that happens. So there's some more updates, more reporting for any page owners on Facebook.
Do you know when that'll take effect?
No, they just announced it yesterday at their
F8?
Facebook Blueprint or something like that, or whatever it was.
maybe
F8, yeah, whatever.
F8, yeah.
So we have a question. Nolan asked, when it comes to connected TV, streaming TV options, is there one option that is really dominating the market right now? Is there one that's really a standout, like performing better, or like a favorite for cable cutters?
I would say probably Sling TV.
That's probably my go-to.
That's what I keep hearing. I think PlayStation Sling TV is standing out right now because it's almost like a standalone product, right? PlayStation View, you don't have to have a PlayStation in order to use PlayStation View, but I think because it's attached to PlayStation, a lot of people will say, well, I don't have PlayStation, I can't get it. It's just common misconceptions that PlayStation hasn't done a great enough job addressing just yet.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of options out there. There's Sling TV, there's PlayStation View, there's a whole nother world called IPTV. It's like the deep web of connected TV. So we're not gonna go there on this episode, but if you're into it, don't say you've heard from here. All right?
Yeah, I definitely say Sling is probably the top one, but I know we don't have the numbers on it, and also I know. YouTube TV, I know they're doing a lot of branding. They did a lot of branding last year at the World Series, and they're planning on doing it, I think, for World Series again, if not the NBA Finals.
Uh-huh.
So I know they're taking a big chunk out of it too.
And see, YouTube TV, I think if they were to come out with something and open it up to more than just 100 markets, that would be skyrocketing.
Yeah.
I would probably switch from PlayStation to YouTube if that was the case. But my last topic regarding Facebook, it's a short one, but yesterday at F8, Zuckerberg announced that Facebook is going to roll out a clear history feature. So clear history tool will let users be able to clear their browsing data on the platform and see all the apps they have ever interacted with, who had access to their data. So with everything that's been going on with Facebook lately, have you taken any additional steps to go in and look at all of the apps that have your information, or see what kind of information Facebook has on you?
Yeah, I didn't do like the whole big what the information Facebook has. I remember did that a few years ago, and it was crazy that they had like gigabytes worth of data, but they had all like my messages and I had a lot of stuff on there. But in regards to the apps, I did go through and kind of cleaned up, and like one if there are ones that I actually use, or two just seem a little sketchier. I don't trust them as much.
Uh-huh.
I've gone through and I've taken away my access to that.
Have you, Sam?
Nope.
You haven't? Well, maybe you should. But Twitter.
Oh yeah, I was just saying we should talk about Twitter.
Yeah, so Twitter recently came out with an alert that said, "Hey everybody, we don't keep any of your passwords or information like that stored on our servers or anything like that. It gets encrypted automatically. But we found out that there's a bug that caused it not to be encrypted. So essentially, we did our internal investigation, and it does not look like that anybody's information has been misproperly used or anything like that. However, we strongly suggest that you clean up your privacy settings and change your password."
Yeah, I got that. I got that. There was a notification. I opened up Twitter this morning. The first thing I saw was, "Hey, pretty much change your password." They recommended change your password. So you're sitting here watching, and you have Twitter. Go change your password.
And also, just like Facebook, cleaning up the apps that have permission to view your data, it's the same thing with Twitter, and I'm sure every other social media platform. So just be cognizant of what apps you give permission to use your data. Or
Yeah, if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, if you were to download an app and you had to log in and create an account, some have the ability, you can hook up your Facebook or your Twitter account. That's what we mean by giving apps access, because then it just takes all the data that Twitter has on you and then it takes it. So that's what we mean by cleaning up your apps. After this, go check it out on Facebook and on Twitter to see what you got going.
yeah, I remember there was a lot of ambiguity about if that was actually a safe route to go for a while. And the report came out that said that is the safest route to go. That's safer than putting in your information manually.
Yeah.
But now, I think that information or the report is a little outdated now that we know what we know about Facebook. And
Well, I also think it's a trend. Like, I mean, people are really buckling down on security right now. So it's forcing everybody to look a little bit closer.
do you think Facebook recovers?
Yeah. I don't think Facebook's going anywhere.
Here's the thing. Facebook, I think. So there's.
It might change.
So there's
it might change.
two different demographics. Older people more so use Facebook. The younger generation is on Instagram, right?
Correct.
So with this whole thing coming out, I think is gonna happen is all the older people who use Facebook are gonna stop giving it as much information, stop giving it as much life, and then once they just stop using it altogether, and the younger generation does not use Facebook, Facebook becomes obsolete.
It's going to change. It's going to change, and I think it's going to become a video platform. I think it's going to be like it's going to be YouTube. It's going to be a video platform where people can go Facebook watch. I mean, it's going to turn into a video platform because that's the type of content they're going for. But I don't think it's going to change, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to.
I'm more on Sam. I don't think it's going to go away. I think it'll change. And also the other thing, I still think, like, it's right because right now it's the people that are kind of going away from it. Older people still use it a lot.
You know what?
Oh, a lot. I mean, it's huge.
It's still not.
And for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what didn't go away but did change?
What?
MySpace. It didn't go away, but it changed.
Is this a 5 o'clock conversation?
No, this is not. This is a future of social media conversation.
MySpace?
MySpace.
You heard it
Do
here
you remember
first.
how popular MySpace was in its heyday?
No, I wasn't a big MySpace user.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
Oh, in my
It wasn't
area,
cool enough, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't.
in my area of Chicago, it was huge,
Yeah,
right? It was
I was
huge.
big too.
And I don't know if they didn't change enough during the time people wanted them to change, but eventually everybody just migrated away from that, and it kept changing.
Yeah.
It went away. It's definitely now used for something totally different than its intended.
No, Nolan asked the question, and this is a good question. So I'm assuming he's talking about Facebook and Instagram. He said, do you think they'll ever merge? I'm assuming he's talking about Facebook and Instagram. And that's a question that I often ask, is just because, so Facebook owns Instagram.
They're in the process of merging right now.
Okay.
So not 100% merging, but now when you go and post a story on your Instagram, you can push it to Facebook.
Yep.
So they're in the process of it, but
I don't see it happening anytime soon because Instagram is doing so well and is so big.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has, even though Facebook owns Instagram and all that same data, like they're kind of in their own bubble, like they're way up here when Facebook's starting to come down. I feel like that's my.
I think they're I don't think it would be a good thing to merge because they're two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're two different things, especially when you're talking about their audience.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I don't know, because if you change Instagram to start making it resemble Facebook, the first people you are going to lose are the people who are fueling Instagram right now, the younger generation.
Yeah.
And then if you change Facebook too much, you're going to use lose the people who are using it so much, the older generation. So for that reason, that's why we always recommend use multiple platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to target your audience, use both of them because then you have the whole gamut.
I'm going to ask you guys, if you're still watching, if you miss MySpace, give me a sad emotion. Instead of liking, do a crying emotion.
They're called emojis.
Emojis.
Emotions.
Like the don't heart it. Give me a sad, because then that means you miss
You're talking
MySpace.
about
You know what we should do? Is once we can leave here, share the video with that request. If you miss MySpace, give me a sad emoji. That's what we should do.
I need to ask a question. Do you actually miss MySpace?
Yes, I miss some features of MySpace.
Because I don't.
I miss ranking my top friends. So like right now, it would be Evan, and then Sam, and then you. So
I was say, well, you wouldn't even be on mine.
God.
Thank you for joining this week's KMS 1010. It's so good to be back. We're gonna eventually upload this to YouTube, the Key Media. I'm Luke.
I'm Tabari. I forgot about Jess. Jess would be number one.
May the force be with you. And I can say that because my name's Luke, and you're not my father.